Welcome to In a World with Real Media. I'm your host, Brad Burrow. In this podcast, we'll dive into the lives of the most successful people in business. We'll learn how they overcame adversity, took advantage of opportunities, and learned from their experiences. Learn from our experts, get inspired, then go live your story. It's In a World with Real Media. Hello and welcome to the In a World with Real Media podcast. I'm Brad Burrow, and today we have Max Farmer and Jason Luce.
Yes.
From Fivefold Solutions, and really excited about having them on the podcast. Let me read a little bit about what they do. Basically a contracting firm, and they're going to give us a lot more detail on this, but there's a lot of faith behind all of this, which is really cool, and we're going to dive into that. But let me read you kind of what's on the website so you guys know what this is about. Fivefold Solutions LLC is a results-driven general contracting firm serving residential and commercial clients across greater Kansas City. Founded by experienced partners, we combine strategic leadership and disciplined, client-focused approach to deliver exceptional design, build, and remodeling services from initial consultation to project completion. So from start to finish, you guys are doing that kind of work. So thank you guys for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Tell me, the first thing, and I asked Carly this as well. It's like Fivefold Solutions. Tell me what that means.
When Max and I get together, the idea was how do we give back? How do we reach out? And we're both very spiritual people. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we were both exploring Ephesians 4, just the entire of chapter 4, mm-hmm. and you can look it up and see. But it basically speaks about the fivefold church, and every one of those folds in the fivefold church is important. You need all of them for the body of Christ, mm-hmm. right? And so that's where we landed. We landed on Fivefold Solutions for our name. And so our thought process is that we would try to embody every one of those pillars, is what we're calling it. And on our logo is each one of those pillars. Can you add into that?
Yeah, those pillars are really strong. Like as far as our identity goes, we definitely wanted to have that approach, just incorporating faith into what we do at a high level. Mm-hmm. And this was kind of a soft way of kind of incorporating that. So
you guys get asked that question a lot?
Surprisingly, not that often.
Yeah. That's the first thing I saw. Fivefold Solutions. Okay, what does that mean exactly? And I was really curious about that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So faith is I know we want to talk about that, but that's a big part of what you guys, the foundation of what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
It is the foundation for what we're doing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you feel called to start this business? Do you feel like that was this is something God's calling you to do?
Without a doubt, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
It was probably 2.5 years in the making of from the first conversations Max mm-hmm. and I had till the tax ID was formed. Mm-hmm. But a lot of prayer in that, leading up to that, a lot of talking and learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Max, you've got, I was looking at your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
And you've got a pretty diverse background.
Yeah. It's spanned a couple of industries, that's for sure.
Yeah. So why construction? What kind of led you to construction?
Actually, that kind of fell to my lap. I've kind of had a background working on things my whole life, out of necessity, actually. But
I know your dad, so I believe that 100%.
Yeah, we like to work with our hands for sure.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of been drawn to entrepreneurship, and so learning different businesses, different industries. I've been able to kind of take lessons from a pretty diverse group, for everything from customer service all the way to the medical industry to now construction.
GI technician.
Yeah, I did that for about 8 years, and it was some of the best people I've ever worked with.
Is that right?
Yeah. Healthcare workers are by far a step above. And, I kind of cherish that time. In my life working with those people.
You were there a long time. That's a long time to be
there. I was additionally going to school for medicine, but ended up kind of just being drawn to business and entrepreneurship. And I didn't like the lifestyle that I was kind of seeing. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't for me. And so made a change and went from there.
And then Garmin. You went to Garmin for a while?
I went to Garmin for about 6 years. I kind of learned how big business does in a corporate setting. And again, good group of people. Garmin's got a great culture, and really kind of enjoyed my time there, but I also kind of felt like I was called to do more. This is the result of that.
Yeah.
So
Do you think all of your, and I'm going to ask you this too, Jason, but all of your experiences have led you to kind of be prepared for what you're doing right now?
I think so. I like to kind of think of my life as a conglomerate of lessons, and so if I'm able to kind of draw from
I'm a slow learner. I don't know if you are.
Me too, and I've got to learn the hard way. That's it. So
what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, no, I've enjoyed my time and my career choices, and part of entrepreneurship is learning as fast and as cheaply as you can.
Yeah.
So, I've really enjoyed kind of my experiences up to about now.
Yeah. Jason, what about you? Tell me a little bit about your background and your experiences.
Well, I went to the Army directly out of high school. And then after that, didn't know what I was going to do. And like Max, it fell in my lap. It started in construction as a carpenter, building houses, and then worked my way up to the finished stuff, and then eventually jumped out on my own, and here we are.
Yeah. So you've kind of been an entrepreneur for quite a while then.
Yes. First tax ID, maybe 15 years ago or so, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Let's see, 51 now. I started somewhere in my early 20s, about 20, I think is when I started in the business. So about half of that time was under my own umbrella, let's call it.
Yeah.
But
right.
Yeah, and you mentioned something about all the experiences leading up to this. Absolutely, and I look back at a lot at those experiences, and I recognize that none of those were experiences that I manufactured myself. Everything was put in front of me by God, and He was just like, come this way, come this way, come this way. Sometimes I was dumb enough not to follow, right? Other times I was right there. But either way, it was a building process, not by me, just by me following, and that got me with Max, with whatever experience I had and his, and it just together into this perfect formula that was designed out of our control. Yeah. And it's exciting to see that happen.
You guys complement each other then.
We do. We often talk about how in the short time we've been together, we couldn't exist without each other. What we have in front of us couldn't be there. And I know as a business owner before having Max as my partner, I failed a lot. I don't fail as much now. And it's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Jesus was a carpenter, right?
Yes, he was.
It's kind of following in his footsteps there.
Yeah.
I think about what a carpenter does, like I've watched houses be built, and the framing and all that stuff. And if you don't get the framing right, everything else afterwards is not right.
Trickles downhill.
So what you do has to be right. I mean, I don't know if you think about that in the business side of things, but the foundation of, you better build that wall right from the beginning, right?
Yep. This is so accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very interesting. Okay. So let's switch gears a little bit. So we kind of talked about a little bit about why Fivefold Solutions. What's different about you guys? And I was thinking about this, like the whole market for renovations and, general contract, there's a dime a dozen, right? I mean, there's a lot of them out there. Yeah. So what sets you guys apart from the rest?
First and foremost, it's the relational aspect of it. We like to think that we have that one-on-one personal relationship with all of our clients. They're comfortable with us. I feel like they are able to kind of just explore what they want to do without the judgment or the need, the push to kind of do it. We love to dream with people, and I think in this industry, contractors kind of get into that mode of, I need to get working, need to do it. And if you're going to waste my time, I don't want anything to do with you. We're not that way. We just haven't been that way from day one. So I think the relational aspect is kind of our niche, if you will.
Absolutely it is. What I would add to that is, first and foremost, it's always God's plan and not ours. And I think that so often in this line of work, it's the other way around. It's
God, come along with this plan I've come up with.
Exactly. So
I'm guilty of that, man.
well, everybody does it, right?
Yeah.
It's just how do you keep from falling into that rut,
Yeah.
right? And so that's something we put at the front end of everything we do. We can sometimes get a month down the road and be like, oh, we've got the reins in our hands. That's when things start collapsing. And we
Yeah.
realize, we got to hand back over. But once we have that as our basis, then we moved into what Max was getting at. And on top of that, from the actual product that we're putting out in itself, as you mentioned, it starts from the very beginning. And we pride ourselves in detail, attention to detail. We really try to focus on delivering a product that is at the top, at whatever the cost is. We take a lot of effort in things that can be swept under the rug that a lot of guys do because the money might be off.
Yeah.
And we take care of those things. The end product is extremely important to us, and the details to get there, we don't leave any out.
Yeah. So talk about the dreaming thing you said a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
So the concept, somebody has it, I want to build a deck, or I want to add this room onto my house or whatever. What does that look like? I mean, do you come in and just here's the vision I have and say, well, maybe if you did it this way, you could do this, that kind of thing. What does that look like?
It really starts from the very first conversation with the client. And as Max said, relationship is we look at it as it's probably 90% of the product is the beginning relationship.
Yeah.
And when you hit the relationship right and the things are working in tandem, then the details come later. And they actually come pretty simple.
Yeah.
As long as you go in with pure intentions from the beginning, it seems to fall right.
Do you think that's different than other companies out there? I mean, that feels like, a lot of work being done up front, but to ensure that the rest of the project goes well. Maybe that's not happening with other contractors.
I'd like to think that there's this productivity-based mindset when it comes to most companies, whereas we're trying to nail a feeling that a client is trying to have. They're imagining a space that they can just live in and it be incorporated into their daily life.
Yeah.
That's not done quickly. That takes time, that takes effort, and we kind of enjoy that part of the process.
We do.
Like it's, the money, we don't really, it doesn't really matter to us at that point. It matters that we're trying to hit that feel for them.
Yeah.
So,
and not, I would think that them working with you is like when you're on the creative side, like we'll have people come in and say, well, I need this video, or I've had people come in and say, I need people to feel this way when they see this piece of content. Well, we kind of know how to get there, but the process, the creative process is much better when we work together to accomplish that. And that's kind of what I'm hearing from you guys. It's like, you know how to do it all, but working together with a client is going to make that end product much better.
Much better. I think the key is you have to try to keep, no matter how much experience you have to understand that ego can play no part in this, right? You have to check it at the door.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard when you think you know more than client. Maybe you don't, right? So giving some space there really, really helps.
And that probably builds trust with your clients too. Like, they're listening to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, trust is the number one thing we're trying to, preserve, acquire, and utilize. We want them to be able to trust us as much as we trust them.
So what do you think, if you could say there's one problem that we solve better than anybody for commercial customers, for homeowners, anything, any of those types of clients, what are the one thing that we do the best?
We're definitely at the top with the whole relational value on the overall product. We just think it gets left out too much.
Yeah.
It just gets left out entirely too much. And you can get to the end goal without that. But if you incorporate that, it's a much better ride to the end.
I saw some pictures. I think I saw a video, maybe a drone video on your website, and it looked like the homeowner was there. Maybe it was on a deck, if I'm remembering right. But I mean, I think I know for me, like if I was hiring a contractor to do a project, I'd want to be there every day, kind of seeing what's happening and understanding. Are you guys good with that? That interaction with your clients? I mean, it looked like that's what was happening on the deck project.
We encourage it, actually.
Yeah.
It's beneficial to all parties involved. Plus, what we want to do is we want the client to be as involved as much as possible. We're accustomed to have people over our shoulders, and that's okay. We're okay with that.
Yeah, a lot of people would not be happy with that, right? Don't do that.
It took a while to get there, right? But that's where we are, and we're happy with it.
So I want to switch gears just a little bit. I want to go through the kind of your process, but first, there's a lot of people in this business, marketing wise. How do people find you guys? I mean, what are you doing right now? Is it referrals? Is it word of mouth?
Yeah, primarily our business is word of mouth. So our clients that we've worked with in the past are referring us to other clients, and that only comes by having a stellar relationship and trust, and seeing that the product that they wanted to be built like right off the bat is actually coming to life and fruition in front of them. But there's a small segment of the business that's coming from social media. So we're on Yelp, we're on Better Business Bureau. We've got a handful of platforms that were Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff.
And Max, you're kind of in charge of all that side of things, is that right?
Yeah.
It's put a lot of work into it.
It's been a steep learning curve, but yes.
Yeah, it's. I'd love to dive into that a little bit with you, but we got a website, obviously, but boy, is the whole algorithm thing and AI, and it's all changing. Yeah, and I feel like the people that figure that out right now are going to be way ahead a year from now, or maybe 2 years from now.
Yeah. The big push for AI to go into SEO, so search engine optimization, is it's a new hot topic thing right now. And so kind of the old school way of doing SEO was kind of changed now by AI, and having to kind of learn your way through that is fun. But yeah, the main marketing push now is, I think we're trying to lean on that word of mouth to kind of make that work. Yeah. But the social media aspect, we're documenting builds, we're pulling out blog posts, things that are kind of aimed at educating the general public of what's possible, like what we can do, you know, and kind of, bolster the dreaming part with our clients. So that's kind of our goal right now.
So I do a podcast with another gentleman that's got a web company, and we talk about digital marketing. Yeah. We were talking about this just the other day about AI, and Google now does not want to send people to a website. They want to answer your question right when you ask the question. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
So it's changing. It's like,
it is.
Unless you put in general contractor or Overland Park, Kansas, or whatever, something like that,
right?
Maybe you'll come up on that. But, you ask a question. I've got an exhaust leak on my engine in a Ford Explorer 2018. Yeah. It will come up with a pretty good explanation as to what that could be. Yeah. And the idea is that they don't want to send you to a website. They want to answer that question right there. Right. Right. So it's like you got to be thinking like Google almost to have success there.
There's another aspect to the AI that we're finding is challenging, and is how to make our content look like it's not all AI, because AI takes over everything, and it's been an awful challenge for us to how do you incorporate the pure feelings involved with AI. It's very difficult.
Yeah. So a little side note, I just did an interview with a business journal yesterday, and they asked me to talk about AI in our industry. Yeah. And we're using it on some things, Chat GPT for, different things. We're using a platform. Well, we're doing a documentary on the history of women's basketball right now.
Oh, cool.
And so we're taking old pictures that were from 1950, 1940, and we put them into a program called Topaz, and it up-reses them to 4K. Wow. And so it's really interesting because it's adding things in that, it's making decisions on what's going to put in there.
Yes.
And so we've been doing it for a year and a half now, so something like that. And the difference between a year and a half ago, result wise, and what we get now, result wise, is a big difference. And so for us, it's great for that. It's enhancing stories, and all that stuff. The girls don't have 10 fingers anymore. They actually have 5 fingers when they're pressing. but I think I was telling them, I think AI is something that we're going to have to embrace.
Yes.
But they're also, and I said this, the human element. You can never replace the human element of what we do, and the same with you guys.
Never.
Yeah, I've used AI quite a bit, and what I've noticed is it gets you into the ballpark. It won't run the bases for you. You know, you can't take a swing, but it'll get you in the ballpark. And sometimes that's just enough to start, getting the juices flowing, if you will, to get those questions to ask. So
half the battle sometimes. Getting into the ballpark, right?
Yeah,
right. So tell me a little bit about what's the experience look like working with you guys from like step by step. If you guys have it broken down into that process, what does that look like?
It's pretty relaxed. We don't have a formula, right? It starts with a site visit or contact, phone call, however. Site visit, we usually get some ideas, and depending on scope and size of project and all of that kind of stuff. The next step is what we do is we come up with a design. We start working on design or at least a starting point.
Do you do that, Jason?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. If we need to
like
get
CAD or something like that, do you?
No, we're on paper.
So you're just writing it out.
Just writing, drawing,
and he'll map out or he'll draw the actual deck or patio or
awesome. Old school, man.
Old school. Yeah,
awesome.
That's great though.
Sometimes it's challenging. I can't do it any of the CAD programs.
Yeah,
or anything can. But if we need to take it to the next step, we'll get the architects involved.
Sure.
And, before we get to the city. But before we do that, we usually give a range of cost for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't know all the details of the project. We're still spitballing ideas.
Right.
Number two is we don't want to just hand you a number and walk off.
Right.
We see that too much, where people just go, here's your number. They have no idea what they're going to build for them. They just know they're going to finish their bathroom, and then they walk off, and folks are like, what's next? So we start with a range. Once we get some ideas put in place, then we can narrow down cost. And then from there, it's basically just signing contract and moving on.
Yep.
Making it happen.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you guys share any recent projects that you guys can talk about? Maybe some case studies or anything like that that were good successes?
There's a case study on our website in our outdoor living section, and it kind of highlights some key features, and some design challenges that we had.
Yeah, there was definite design challenges.
Yeah, talk about those.
Okay, so this particular project started off as a resurface. The deck was in place. South Johnson County on some acreage. There's plenty of space to work with if we needed to. There was an existing gazebo at one end of the deck. There's a pool at the other end of the deck. I'm pointing to areas of the project like you know what I'm talking about. But,
I see it right there. Yeah.
However, what we did is we took up the pool deck, new stamped pool deck and coping, resurfaced existing deck. When we pulled the existing deck up, it was shot. So the challenge was, how do you fix the frame without tearing it all down? And the short answer to that is it's next to impossible.
Yeah.
And this one, homeowner wanted to try it, so we did, and we ended up replacing probably 60% of the framing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it had been, in the long run, probably would have been better to take it down, but we're still trying to work within the parameters of the client's decisions, right?
Yeah.
And so we did, and we made sure we kept the cost down as much as possible. As we're building, he's getting some ideas, which were great. We ended up having a separate, let's call it 20 by 16 detached pergola covered roof system in there, which was fantastic. It was off to the side of the pool, so the deck butted into that. Right next to it was the gazebo. They were very partial to the gazebo. The gazebo is old and was collapsing. We reshored everything and redid some of the frame, and then we actually incorporated some of the decking into our decking. So the decking from the gazebo followed through to the new roof structure, and then we had to combine gazebo with a new roof feature.
Man.
It was
Problem after problem you had to solve, sounds like.
it was. We like to call them solutions.
Yeah.
Possible solutions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it actually turned out really well. Against the house, where the deck meet the house, we also added another 10 by 12 roof feature. So the decking went from pool to new roof feature to gazebo around, hit the house and come around and traveled into the new deck feature on this side. And we filled it with lights, and it really turned out to be a nice project. I think it's a case study on our
How long
website,
did that take? Just curious.
So we did all the work physically ourselves, and I think took 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it was 4 by the time we
Yeah.
were done. Does that
So
sound
in the
about
middle
right?
of that, you're probably having conversations with the owners like, okay, we
All day long, every day.
I mean,
And
Yeah.
he was pretty meticulous on the detail part, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's an attorney.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Matter
Wow.
of fact, this is kind of a funny
That's a
story
little
about
scary
this.
working with an attorney on something like that.
He's a great guy,
Yeah.
But he's very detail oriented, and numbers wise, he was there. Funny story about this. So I have a pretty, at that point in time, there was a basic contract, right? Max has done some wonders with the contract since then, but
Revamp
You an
it.
attorney now? No.
No.
Chat GPT.
I don't think he would have poked any holes in this one, but I brought my very basic contract to him, and he read through it, and he goes, "Yeah, why don't I call you tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh,
And he says,
not what you want to hear.
he says, "I think we're ready to go." But I kind of did some modifications. I get back over there. He reworked the whole contract.
Oh my gosh.
Changed the whole thing, which was great because he did some other protections in there. But I thought it was pretty funny. It didn't bother me one bit, but it was great. It was.
Maybe you can use that moving forward. Maybe he rewrote your contract for you.
Right.
But the end result was really cool.
It was.
Yeah.
Project
It was.
itself made it look like it was a part of the original design for the house, and so
Yeah.
But just gorgeous. We featured it as a case study on our website, and so photos are readily available.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So one of the things I was thinking about when I was thinking about what we would talk about today, the renovation projects, you probably run into some crazy stuff, right? I mean, you mentioned a little bit on that project, the beams, the joists, I'm assuming the deck were bad, but
Yeah.
Can you talk about, do you think
Absolutely.
there's got to be some, like, open up in a wall and like, what am I looking at here?
We are in the middle of a disaster right now, which we're going to handle. And we actually, as odd as it might sound, we kind of like this stuff a little bit because
You glutton for punishment, right?
a little bit, but you can only build a 12 by 12 deck for so long without getting bored, right?
Yeah.
Challenges are stressful but fun for us.
Yeah.
So we took on one. It's an insurance claim. It's in a house that's about 39th and Walnut, 100-plus-year-old house.
Oh, wow.
Old design, beautiful houses. But as you can imagine, there's been a lot of different people that have worked on this house over the course of the 100-plus years, right? On the second floor is this bathroom. They got a leak, and the leak came through the first floor. We came there and met the adjuster, talked through the adjuster with the insurance side, which is an entire different animal dealing with the insurance company. But we got the numbers juggled back and forth to the way where they worked right. Inside the wall, however, we had no idea what we were going to get into. We could guess. We're able to work some of that stuff through what this insurance company calls supplements, right? So they'll agree to some of it. They won't agree to others. Either way, it's open and we have to deal with it.
Right. Yeah.
Inside the wall, behind the shower, which was a corner shower.
Wait, should we have a sound effect? Doo, 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 doo.
Probably. So it's a corner shower. Let's call it an 8x8 bathroom. Behind one of the walls was the second half of the window. So the window is a double window, 5 foot by 4.5 feet. What you see when you're looking at the finished shower is there's a shower and a window starts tight to it. Okay. That's all you see. Well, that's only half of the window. The other half of the window is behind the shower. So we open this up, and that's just the beginning of it.
What do you do with that? You have to take the window out? I'm giving you heartburn right now, aren't I?
Yes, because we're right in the middle of figuring it out. But no, I think we're going to leave it because we're going to make it go back correctly. The cost of what it would cost the client, they've opted out of. We're going to make it so that
you have to reframe that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've had to come out off of the wall a certain distance to allow for some insulation, the proper framing, the proper drying, all of that. At the same time, behind it all is lath and plaster, and they've just secured all of their shower walls to the lath and plaster. There's no support.
Could come off.
It's just you could push on the walls and they go wobble wobble.
Oh my gosh.
So anyways, we're halfway through that. It's going to get there. As a matter of fact, driving up here, I've got the carpenter on the phone going, I'm going, hold on, just take a breath. Just give me a few minutes. I'm going to be over there in a bit. But we're going to get there.
Well, what a blessing that's going to be for the homeowner to get all that resolved, though, huh?
We love that part of it.
Yeah.
We really do like that part. Somewhere in there is the idea of how can we give back service work versus how can we stay afloat business-wise.
Yeah.
We want to balance that.
It's
correctly.
hard. That's very hard.
So hard.
I've had that same thing. It's like you can get out of balance on that.
You can.
Very easily.
Either way.
Either way.
Yeah. So what is that balance? It's not easy to get to that balance.
Stay in prayer, right?
Yeah.
Stay in prayer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. I think what you guys do, there's got to be a faith element to almost everybody you're running into, I would think. I mean, think about the person in that house. They probably had an issue. They're probably freaked out about it. It's like, is my insurance going to cover this?
Right.
Oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
That's right.
I mean, you guys can kind of come in there and, all right, settle down.
Order to chaos. We can't. Yeah.
Put order to chaos.
But the faith element of that, I mean, do you share that with customers?
Yes. There's a fine line on when to do that in my experience.
Right.
And Max and I both experience it from different levels because we do different things for the business, right?
Right.
I have a more face-to-face. And so I think it's easier for me because I can see people in front of me. I can see emotion. And I also can get the feeling better on conversations at the very beginning on when to drop faith in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You may have it a little more difficult because you're on the phone a lot.
I do. And, trying to draw people's intentions and emotion, through the phone is a little bit more difficult.
It's like a Zoom call.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would much prefer this interaction than
I agree.
over the phone. So as far as being bold with faith, I think there's a line, there's a balance.
Yeah.
There's something you have to do. But
It's got to be spirit led, right?
Totally.
You can't just.
It does.
yeah, but at the same time, we've got to also respect the person in front of us,
Right.
right?
We do.
So pushing faith on people is something we don't do.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can show our faith by our actions.
Right.
though. And
So we work, I don't know if you guys know this, but we work a lot with City Union Mission. And so we do their podcast and a bunch of content for them. But one of the things I think it's really awesome about what they do is it's much like Jesus did. It's like, let me help you with a physical challenge. And then I'm going to talk to you about the spiritual side of things.
Yeah.
So let me feed you, give you a place to sleep, but then let's talk about how we can really turn your life around. And
Fantastic.
So that's kind of what I'm hearing you guys say too. It's like, let me help you solve this problem. And I'm for you, I'm with you. And that's something I think sets you guys apart from other contractors. I can't imagine too many contractors at the big names here in Kansas City that are going to think that way.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Especially the bigger the unit gets, the more that the personality of like the founders or the owners kind of gets
Complacency, all that.
Right.
Yeah, it gets a little shoveled. So
Right. If you guys could grow, that's
We
going to
would
be
like
the
to.
challenge is to keep that same.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was our first let's say, question
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
we started this is, how do we keep that going? 'Cause
Yeah.
we know very quick when we start to receive things that we're not used to, we can get lost in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it can get out of hand pretty fast. You know, things happen quickly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So staying grounded in your faith, I mean, that's got to be a big part of what you guys are doing. I mean,
Yeah.
I would imagine daily, probably, right?
It is.
Yeah, we definitely get pulled in a bunch of different directions, and so not having that foundation with God, and I don't know how we'd be able to do it, to be honest with you. So,
That's right. You know, if we trace back some of the decisions that we've made, they're probably not the decisions we would make now.
Yeah.
Usually at the root of those is when we're a little off spiritually. You know, if we get beat up for a week and we forgot to
Yeah.
be calling upon God for decisions, then
Right.
that's when our bad decisions
Yeah.
seem to.
Yet he comes through every time still, right? I mean, that
does,
to me,
despite
I totally get
ourselves.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Despite my-
Exactly. Humble, right? You got to stay humble.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
well, what would you like to see happen in the next 2 or 3 years with Fivefold? I mean, probably 100 million in revenue, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No, we definitely want to have an impact on the city, though. We
Yes.
would definitely like to see our name kind of be the go-to for problem solving, unique problem sets, both in the commercial and the residential worlds.
Sounds like you're getting a lot of experience in that right now.
We are. And, you know, the cool thing is God is building those situations in us, and
Yeah.
it just seems to be increasing in size and
is.
scope, which
It
is,
is.
you know, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that personally.
Yeah. So another thing one of our, let's say, goals long term is, how can we provide back, right? How do we give back? And initially going into this is, until we were at a certain point, it's awfully hard to give back if we're not at a level that we can give to ourselves yet.
Yeah.
And so we're starting to be at that point where we can, and our goal is we get to do more and more as
Yeah.
we receive more and more. We want to make sure that we're the conduit and not the acceptor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
One particular circumstance we had, there was a family that had some physical needs, and so we were able to install a sidewalk ramp for them. We've also donated several man hours and materials to my brother's a pastor in Raytown, and
Okay.
so he's got a church that they're redoing, and we've been able to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And so giving our time,
Yeah.
to us is money. So
Yeah.
it works out for us that way.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So last thing, I wanted to just have you guys give me your elevator pitch. You know, so I run into you and I say, "Hey, Max, what is Fivefold Solutions? Tell me what that is. What's your? I'd love to hear it from both of you.
Yeah. Fivefold Solutions is a general contracting company, and we're able to kind of solve unique problems with pretty quick solutions. So, you know, whatever you're kind of facing, we'd love to take a look and tackle.
Okay.
So I guess that's my quick spiel at what we are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What would you say, Jason?
But that's hard for me. Here's what I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Yeah.
I've never put that question on myself. I would say that we are a remodeling company that prides ourselves on detail. We love outdoor living and we love inside work as well, but we also want to push the relational value to the forefront of everything. So at the end of the day, it's not about just providing a product that looks good, but it feels good along the way in the process.
Yeah.
So
I think I like your answer better than mine.
it didn't feel right coming out, so I'm glad you got it.
No, that's good. That's good.
No.
Good practice, you know, right? Well, all right. So we're about done. So everybody that's on the podcast, so it's called In a World with Real Media.
Oh.
So you have to do the movie voice. And I had the CEO of Community America do this. I mean, it's really fun. So I'll show you how I do it. So you have to get really close to the mic.
Okay.
And you have to do the movie voice. Okay. So say In a World with Real Media. So you just go up and say, In a World with Real Media. So I want you guys to each do that. Max, you want to go first?
Yeah.
In a world with real media.
Carly's laughing right now. I can guarantee. All right, Jason.
In a world with real media.
That wasn't bad, man. That was pretty good. Well, man, thank you guys for being on the podcast. It's really awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Anybody that's out there that is needing some remodeling work to do, I may have some stuff for you guys too. I've got some ideas running around here. But, I think that you should give these guys a call. Go to the website. It should be in the notes and everything, but check them out. If you need to have some ideas, that you guys,
absolutely,
that's something they can help you with. Be sure to share this podcast, like, comment, tell your friends about it, tell your friends about Fivefold, and we appreciate you guys watching, and be sure to subscribe because there's more content coming. Thank you. This has been In a World with Real Media. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to subscribe on iTunes and follow Real Media on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn so you never miss an episode.